Alright guys, give me a quick second. We're just getting everything sorted. Alright, I'm just getting everything sorted. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Just to get everything sorted, guys, just bear with us real quick. Alright, I think that is everything. I'm just gonna test real quick if you guys can hear me. Alright, looks like you guys can hear me. Looks like we are all set and ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first time Formula Racing League Season 1 Round 1, where we find ourselves at the British Grand Prix. This is a new upcoming league in the Formula 1 scene. Looks pretty promising, and we will see how promising it is here today. I am your commentator, Justin, or Just Gaming, and I am here with Voice of Chris.
Hello, hello. Good evening.
How you doing, Chris? You doing alright?
I'm doing just fine. It's a pleasure to commentate with you tonight, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Honestly, I am so excited for this one tonight. A new league for Formula 1. And we find ourselves here at a historic track, Silverstone Circuit. And what a way to start the season. What a historic track that we find ourselves here today.
Oh yes, home of British motor racing is always a nice place to start a season. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm absolutely excited to look forward to this one.
Honestly,
Maybe,
I am in the same boat with you, my man. But we are here for a full qualifying session with a 50% race, 26 laps here tonight, and it's a realistic performance league. So we're going to see some close quarter racing. We're going to be looking at specifically the Haas drivers, because they'll be having the slowest cars. So Mafuta and and Hyder. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry, this is our first time, so we are still trying to get used to the people's names.
I would call it Hyder. On my perspective, the names are a little bit hard to speak out, but I'm pretty sure we can get some good in. Some names are really hard to say, but it looks pretty good from my side.
But we will attempt to manage as best as we can, guys. But if we do, we are always open to suggestions, so if there's any problems, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make it right for everyone.
But honestly, I am so excited. We're ready to start this race, get this underway. We have almost a full grid here tonight, and that is exceptionally well. But I do want to give special thanks to both you, Chris, to Fluff, and also Rattleman for having us here tonight. We're looking for a exquisite race here tonight. A Sunday afternoon for me, a Sunday evening for the British people back at home. But that's not actually the only people that we have here. We have nations all over the field here tonight.
And we are improving that one. We try to improve it. We are absolutely working on it to get more leagues in, to support more leagues with commentaries and streams, to get your names out into the world, into the community, my man.
Yeah, honestly, I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait for this. But we're just waiting on a few more people. I think we're waiting on one more person to come in, one of the Alfa Romeos. and then after
One
that we can
thing,
actually start. We can actually start this race.
one thing I have to say about FRL is they are pretty good in getting drivers in, because it is very to see a league where you have a complete grid. This is absolutely amazing. It gives us even more exciting races, especially here in Silverstone.
Yep, but that's the also the thing as well. The only concern sometimes is that even though we have a full grid, there are going to be some cases where we might actually end up with half of the grid. Because with Silverstone, especially like big corners like Cobb's Corner, where we actually saw Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen get a little bit of a collision, Max Verstappen crashing out right off the track, and I believe Hamilton did win that race at Silverstone. And and of course the classic right after that, Maggot, Beckett's, and Chapel all the way right before the Hangar Straight, and those quick chicanes, those quick rights and lefts, and that's going to make it a very, very good show here for us. And it looks like we got the final driver. We got the last Alfa Romeo of Kieran coming in, and we're about to start this race. Let's see what FRL has in store for us here tonight.
I actually saw at least one race. I was in Bahrain. I enjoyed it pretty much. Really good skilled drivers here. So you can expect, like the usual one, you have your 3 or 4 drivers getting just a little bit ahead of the field, and then you have the midfield, which is really close. But it doesn't matter in Silverstone, because this circuit is horribly fast. With the first sector, which is tactical, the rest is just fast corners all over the place. So you have to keep a really perfect lap to get you up in front here.
Exactly, and we might be looking at some sort of times around the 128s, maybe potentially the 127s if we're lucky. But that's going to come down to the skill of the drivers and the cars that they're in. And with this track, the power units have a huge advantage, especially with those straights that we have. We have straights like the Wellington Straight, which is the first DRS zone. Then we have the the Hangar Straight, which is right after Maggot, Beckett's, and Chapel, right before Stowe. And then of course we have the iconic finishing straight of the Hamilton Straight, of course named after Lewis Hamilton. And even there's a little bit of a straight after Woodcut right before Cobb, so there's that little bit of a straight. We could see a lot of battles over the field and hoping for a good one. But here at Silverstone we have 3 qualifying sessions, Q1, 2, and 3, 18 minutes on each one, and we're gonna see how these drivers do. I'm very excited. But who's gonna be the first driver to get those rubbers nice and warm, go onto the tarmac, and see who's going to get the fastest lap? But they're going to be setting the standard, whoever's going to be the first person going out. And I'm looking at a Mercedes of YZ Sams, but it looks like a Williams going to be making their way out first. I'm trying to see who that is. That's going to be Tony Flange. And we're going to be keeping an eye on this man to see how he does. Actually already hits the wall, making his way out of the pit lane. But not a good start. But these drivers definitely have a lot of nerves on them. They're probably really nervous. It's the beginning of a season, beginning of a new league as well. So it's going to be...
For most of the guys, that's their home Grand Prix. So they pretty much more nervous than usual. So and it just really depends. How is your exit on most of the corners to not get overtaken? That's absolutely crucial. It looks like it is cloudy, but it's not raining from my side. But
it's not raining just yet, but that could be giving us a little bit of a teaser. But to the people on the chat and the people back at home, if you are racing, me personally, I do not like to have like weather spoilers. I love to just wing it as it comes around. So please no weather spoilers in the chat. But the thing is, with the beginning of a season, these cars first they have their winter testing at the beginning of each season, and with these drivers, it's gonna be tough to see how they're gonna actually do here tonight. Mainly because with those nerves, having the first race of the season, trying to get off to as good of a start as you potentially can. But as we're actually watching it, Tony Flanch is going to be finishing the outlap first, and we're actually going to go on board with them, and I will describe you Silverstone circuit. But of course, as we're coming around, we have the Hamilton straight. He does invalidate, but it looks like he's still going to go at it as we make our way towards Abbey, and then Farm, and then the tight right-hander of Village. Right up ahead, right before the DRS zone. That's where that is where the detection zone is to turn 4 right here, which is Loop, and then Aintree, and then right after that is the first DRS zone of the Wellington Straight, making his way all the way down, probably wanting to stay on the concrete instead of the grass. But after the Wellington Straight, you have Brooklands, then Love Field, which is the first left-hander, which is Brooklands, the right-hander right here, which is Love Field, and then a little short right-hander to a semi-straight of Woodcut into the dreaded Cups corner, where of course we did see Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen get into a little bit of a collision. Right up ahead, we're gonna actually see
getting into the history books right now. Well, since last season, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But now this is the dreaded part: the Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. All the way down into the hangar straight, which of course where the hangar is. The hangar on the left side of the track, I'm pretty sure there's a hangar on the left side of the track. We can't see it on the view of Tony, but now we get into Stowe, which is this weird elevation change right-hander. And then you have the Vale chicane of turns 16 and 17. And then you have the club corner right before the Hamilton Straight. And that is where we will be having this race. Kieran already retiring from the race. So maybe gotten a little bit of damage on that car. But I'm looking at a potential Red Bull. Actually, no. Rattleman Gaming actually also invalidated their time. But who's going to be the first one to set a valid time and set the standard here tonight? And it looks like it could be a potential Ferrari of Shaden TV. Yep. There it is. A 129.706 sets the standard. Can definitely go a lot faster in that Ferrari. As you can see, Mitch GK with the 128.6.
And he had traffic, by the way.
And he had traffic, so that's an extraordinary time. Could be looking at a faster time, but the 128, I think that's where we're going to be seeing the fastest laps. We also see Mark Andelphi actually cross the line with a 128.7, only less than a tenth behind Mitch GK for that provisional pole position. And we're just waiting for all the drivers to come through. We also saw, wait, who was that? Mark Andelphi actually left the session, so his car goes automatically back into the pit lane. Could be looking at some disconnections here tonight, which is unfortunate to see, but we are still underway as it stands. I'm looking at a Red Bull that's coming across the line, and it's actually going to be Mihai, who's actually going to be finishing an outlap and going to be starting off a good lap, a fast lap. Let's see. It was a good exit, but it's going to be tough to get around those sort of times.
Real War is the second Ferrari is actually coming into the last couple of corners. He also has traffic a little bit, so he might get a decent time in, or not.
Yep, it goes third fastest. 129.317, a pretty good time, especially having someone just ahead. But is going to be preserving a lot of fuel and a lot of ERS to start the next lap once he comes around the final few corners. But I'm looking at a potential McLaren coming across the line 9/10ths faster, and they go up to third fastest with a 129.215, improves by 9/10ths. Amazing stuff from Rassam Mfeo. I see. Do I know Rassam? I'm pretty sure that name is really familiar to me. I think I know him from a different league.
It is possible. This is possible. I just forgot what I wanted to say. First of all, a pretty good description from a lap throughout the Silverstone circuit. I personally, I just forget what I wanted to say. So.
Yeah, no worries. We all have those moments. Like you've just been talking for such a long time, and it just leaves your head.
Yeah, speaking of the second Ferrari with a pretty decent time, you don't have to forget. The dirty air in this game is absolutely horrifying, especially on circuits like Silverstone. If you are following too close to a car in front of you, it might destroy your race because the dirty
Oh
air is
yeah,
so crucial.
definitely. But look at that, actually. I was just looking at who is this right here? YZ Sams actually was trying to start a qualifying lap, but it was stuck behind Mufasa in the Haas, and just mistimed the braking zone, making his way down towards turn 3, and you can see the amount of time that he lost. Also, Mufasa actually had a little bit of a lockup as they were entering their way down. But there we go. Looks like Mark and Delphi has finally rejoined the session and is able to go back out there on track. Currently second fastest with a 128.7. Could be a big name that we could see at the early stages of this race.
Also, Heido in the Haas, he's sitting on P10th. That's a really nice lap because, okay, sure, half the grid needs still a valid lap time, but a 131.3 for an Haas is absolutely masterclass. I have to admit.
That is a very good time there from that man. But I'm actually looking at this right now, and everyone has actually opted for the softs except for Mafuta, who is actually currently on the mediums, trying to see if he can make his way through Q1 on a set of mediums. And of course, we'll be having 15th place, well, 16th place and down will be eliminated from the qualifying sessions. But the thing is, Mafuta, do you think that he's using those mediums a little bit too early on?
I think he's trying to get rid of those, saving his soft tires for probably qualifying 2, making a second try on the softs to get a better lap time in, to get into qualifying 2. So he's not going for the strategy which is usual, like starting with the medium compound tire in the race. So he might know what we don't. Maybe changing in the weather, so does keep the faster tires in the qualifying and see how he gets.
We'll have to keep a close eye on that man, because the thing is, like with the drivers, they would actually have 4 set of soft tires towards them. At the beginning, they'll have 3, but once you actually get to Q3, you would actually get another set of softs to use at the end. So it is a peculiar strategy using the medium set of tires early on in Q1, but I'm probably just getting a little bit of more rubber down on the track, and could be looking at a banger lap here tonight. But we're actually going to go back up front with Mark and Delphi, who actually just rejoined.
The weather is at the moment is really interesting, but it seems it looks like it is really fresh out there. Oh, best time from Sam.
We have a new set. We have a new time from Y2 Sams, who, if you guys remember, previously was stuck behind the Haas of Hyder and comes across the line to set a time of a 128.287. Takes provisional pole position and does move out the way for an Alfa Romeo to come across and continue their lap. Good awareness from that Mercedes driver of YZ Sams.
And see how close it is. I mean, the first 5 or the first 4 are all in 128, then 129 all over the board to up to P10. Then we starting with 130s, and then it's a little bit stretched out. But it is absolutely look how tight it is in front there. So I really can't wait for that.
It's getting very, very close. But the thing is, even though like we have those times from like YZ Sams, Mitch GK, and Mark and Alfie, the thing is, it's just like you don't want to go out there for too long. If you know that your time is going to be enough to bring you into Q2, you might as well retire early and save those rubbers for another session, possibly during the race, because we could be looking at a few safety cars here tonight at Silverstone.
Yes, and we have to keep it in mind. The dirty air is really crucial. So the whoever has the pole position in, for the race, he has probably a huge advantage. But qualifying 2 is most likely the strategy qualifying, so we will see.
Yep. Oh, hold on! We have a crash on the field. We have a car that has crashed. If you go on board with Tony Flang, Shaden TV has been taken out through Maggots and Beckett's, And now we'll
Oh,
be having 15 and down be eliminated.
that's bad. I mean, track awareness is really, really important on every track. So you have to be aware of your surroundings. If you are not on a hard lap, stay off the racing line. This is always the first rule in league racing. But sometimes this is crazy. Sometimes it's hard to see. It depends on what the driver's getting for HUD settings. But yeah, I mean, Megas and Backers. This is a critical corner there. So yeah, track awareness is absolutely really important. Oh,
Yeah.
just happened again.
It is a very, very tough corner there. It takes a lot of people out. And with different leagues that I've actually been a part of, I've actually seen where two people, and actually in some cases three people, go three wide all the way through Meggetts and Beckett's, all the way down to the hangar straight. But hopefully we'll be able to see people recreate that and try and get a little bit of an interesting race, and probably test out the other drivers around them to see if they will be able to give the space and know for later on in the season if they are able to make those type of moves. But as it stands now, we have a very, very close top 10 where it's around close to 2 seconds between the top 10, which, to be honest with you, isn't too bad for a season premiere. But we would only soon find out who will be the one to come out on top. And can you actually give a name already at this point, or do we have to, or do you think that we should probably wait until the end of Q3?
I would rather wait until qualifying 3, because the temperature, it looks like it is really cold out there. It is cloudy like hell. So hopefully we get some more rubber on the track to get faster times, because we didn't even need a 128. We have a 128, but not a 127. Excuse me. It is kind of the cars need more grip at this point, so I hope they get it at the end of the qualifying. So there's no favorite by now.
Yeah, I couldn't say a favorite at this point, to be honest with you, just yet. But I'm pretty sure the people in the chat will definitely have those set of drivers that they'll be looking at putting in a good result here tonight. I saw a few people opting for the Williams. I saw someone opting for the Ferraris, which unfortunately one of them will be already taken out in Q1. But we could be looking at a pretty good race here at Silverstone. But we will soon find out if anyone will be able to take the gold early on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, probably there's a weather change, so we might have a little bit rain coming on at the end of qualifying 1, getting through the qualifying 2. You never know. Silverstone is always famous for suddenly raining sessions. So
Yeah.
and it looks really cloudy. So yeah, it's getting probably much more interesting than we already thought.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see, but let's see, we actually do have a few people that could be looking at a very good race here tonight. A few people getting a little bit of spin arounds, actually, which actually we did just see with an Alpine coming around the final corner right before the Hamilton straight. I don't know who exactly that was. I don't know if that was Tony, potentially. No, that it was not Tony. Who was that, actually? Oh, it might have been Nelson. Yeah, look at that. Nelson spins around once again, not enjoying Silverstone for the time being. Currently on the gravel at the exit of turn 2, not getting those rubbers cooled down before he can carry on. And he's going to pay for it. As you can see, still sliding out once again around turn 3. Needs to cool down those rubbers, because with those rubbers being super, super warm, he's just going to be sliding out, and he's practically drifting at this point. But yeah, it's a very tough sight to see with those Formula 1 cars for the time being. But talking about
actually, Mafuta is actually over 3 seconds up into in sector 1, so he might get a really decent lap time in. Hopefully gets him into the top 15.
Yep,
So
and
let's see what we can do in Sector 2.
yep, but actually I just saw, so we have less than a minute left in this qualifying session, and Ubo has actually made his way up to 6th place with a 129.65 flat. So goes up to 6th place, looking at a very comfortable position to make their way into Q2.
No, Mafuta just invalidated his lap time. He was 5 seconds up in Sector 2, but he invalidated before in Megas and Baggers. That's a
Oh,
shame.
and I'm just looking at this. We actually missed it. Mihai DMC, who was actually in the top 5 previously in the qualifying for the fastest lap, is actually out of this race. Looks like he got into a crash and will be taken out of Q1. So now it's 14 and below that are currently on the chopping block. Madman Adam is actually currently on that chopping block. But that's going to be it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. If you have joined in the session a little bit late, you would have to retire from the session so we can carry on into Q2. But let's see, Ubo not improving on his time, but he's going to be one of the last few drivers that we're going to be waiting on to go into the pit lane. Or actually, should I say Mafuta, actually, who's currently out on the softs, currently 3/10 up on their time, and you could just tell with the Haas just not having a good power unit is going to be really struggling to make their way through. But we did see with iHider making their way through into Q2. So
I think he's going to the pits. He is running out of fuel, and he has barely no ERS left. Last time around, last lap, he was absolutely improving. But
oh, actually no, he might stay out mainly because he's 5/10 up on his lap. Even though he is low on fuel, low on ERS, he's gonna go for it and cross the finish line. Let's see what sort of times that he's gonna set as he's coming around the final few turns. The chicane to club corner, and the Hamilton straight goes on the throttle, puts down the hammer, and he's going to put a time in of a 31.8, but it's not going to be enough to make his way into Q2.
The curious thing was, at the end of that lap, the graphic shows me he was 6 seconds up on his time, but he didn't, he might improved on his lap time, but did he actually improve in positions? I don't know.
He did improve in his position, but it wasn't going to be enough to make his way out of Q2, out of Q1. But as it stands now, Mihai and Shaden both crashes out after putting in a valid time to make their way through. But Mafuta, Madman Adam, Tony Flange, Bobby Doyle, and Kieran all will be knocked out of Q1 as we make our way into Q2. It will be 11 and down will be eliminated from Q2. So only 3 drivers this time. So this actually gives those drivers a little bit of a second chance, a second opportunity to put in a little bit more practice, but also make an account.
Yeah, as you say, I didn't even realize we had some retiring early on, like crashing out on track. So for them, it's automatically they are out of the qualifying, unfortunately. So it gives probably guys they are in front of them and originally not going through. But as you can see, we only have 13 drivers on the grid for now.
Yep, we have 13 drivers for now, and we're going to be making our way through. Very excited to see what is going to be the main outcome of Q2. As with the qualifying, it kind of gives us as commentators and the people back at home a little bit of like teasers every single time. Just gets us even more excited for the actual Grand Prix. But it looks like now we'll be having a Mercedes making their way out in purple sector. But also
McLaren.
In the McLaren, yep. Right behind the McLaren actually for purple sector, but YZ Sams is going to be the first car making their way out of the pit lane, and they're going to be setting the standard here in Q2. Currently on the softs, so wanting to start on those set of softs into this race, but let's see if it will pay off.
Silverstone is not a famous track for okay. since the season since the Formula One season 2021, I'm not quite sure if this is the best track for tire because yeah, the legendary finish from Lewis Hamilton with 3 tires. Bottas had not much of a luck as his teammate. He lost a tire. One of the McLarens lost a tire. I mean, for the one-stop strategy, probably.
No, the one-stop strategy here tonight is possible, because I was actually doing a commentary in a different link earlier on today, and I actually saw someone do around 9 laps on a set of softs, and then the rest of the laps, which is what's that, around 17 laps on a set of mediums, and they were able to do it. No safety cars as well. So it only comes down to the skill of the drivers. So that's pretty much it. Just comes down to the skill of the drivers to see how they're actually going to be able to take care of those rubbers. Not wanting to pull a Bottas and a Hamilton, especially, well, they probably would want to pull a Hamilton for winning the race, but not for popping their front right tire.
This might be more difficult to manage to get almost full lap with just 3 intact tires. I think the simulation on that game is not giving you so much of movement. If you have a puncture, it is might be difficult. But I think it is getting bright a little bit. So might be the track is getting much warmer in the second qualifying, especially with the medium runners. So
oh yeah, definitely.
We have quite a bit. Yeah.
It is getting a little bit warmer. Gonna give those rubbers a little bit extra time to actually get set up for their qualifying pace. But one thing about this track is that with the track limits, especially with Cubs Corner, you would be able to go completely off into the green and still go full out, but there's like a certain like time to where you actually have to go out of that turn. So Cubs Corner, we could be seeing a few people abuse the track limits of Cubs Corner, but the thing is with this, right? I want to show you guys something real quick. So I have the telemetry up on the screen. And do you want to see how fast these sort of cars go? So like the Mercedes, like especially down the Wellington Straight after the first DRS zone. But look at that, YZ Sams improves on his Q1 time with a 128.034, and the pace of that car, so I have it in kilometers for freedom units, so it will be miles per hour, and I don't have that. But what's it called? These cars can go all the way up to around 300, maybe 310 kilometers an hour. And I want to say that's around 180 or 170 miles, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it is around about 180, if not even 190 miles per hour.
Yeah, so it would be very, very close then. But
what's the average speed? I think the average speed was around about 220 on that circuit, if I'm
220
right.
kilometers, yeah. But of course, when it comes to the quote-unquote fastest tracks of the circuit, is actually one that was actually introduced last year, which was Jeddah, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where the simulated, like, this is a fun fact for you guys, the simulated average speed of Jeddah was a whopping, if I can find it real quick, give me a sec, here we go, was a whopping 250 kilometers an hour simulated average speed, or 160 miles an hour, and that's simulated speed. So it has the nickname fastest.
What was the track with the most with the most average speed before? I think it was Austria with like 200 and
maybe 220.
230, 240 probably, because Austria sector 1 and 2 are most likely just straight.
Yeah.
Just getting interrupted by
sector
corner.
3 as well, yeah. Because like you have turns 1, turns 3, turns 4, and the final turn of turn 10. Like because you could potentially count maybe around 4 straights if you do like the beginning of sector 3 when you're coming up on the uphill right-hander right before the pit lane.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can count. Yeah.
but the times at Austria is actually extraordinary. Like probably like around a minute and 4 seconds for like the top runners, maybe a minute and 6 seconds for like the lower runners. But that just gives you like a visual representation, because at Jeddah, with it being one of the longest tracks as well, the second largest, which is around 6 kilometers kilometers long for each lap, it's able to do which they were able to do a 1:28 or 1:30, where with Austria it's such a smaller track, like around 4 kilometers, so almost 2 kilometers shorter, but just only going 20 seconds faster, and that is extraordinary. They're able to do practically, if you look at that, 20 kilometers, like 2 kilometers within 20 seconds.
This, I mean, what those cars are able to do, and I'm really looking forward to the 2022 cars, because there's improvement. The cars are the cars are basically smaller, so I think the rate is going much down. What was the average rate before? It was I'm pretty sure it was 750 to 850 kilograms, compared with 750 horsepower. That means you have 1 horsepower on every kilogram. This is absolutely, I mean, this is, if you see the data of those cars, this is absolutely extraordinary.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, we could be seeing a lot faster though for the new cars, because everyone's saying, oh, it could be a little bit slower, like the newer cars, the newer Formula 1 cars, but with it being so much smaller than the last year, like from the predecessor of the hybrid era, like with it being so much smaller, even though the engines are going to be a little bit smaller, the cooling system is going to be a whole lot different. We could be looking at faster and close quarter racing, and that's one thing I'm very, very excited for.
I saw some cockpit views from the new cars, especially with Hamilton's new Mercedes. I see that at the end of the halo, when you just barely see the helmet popping up on the bottom of the screen, so you see that where the air is coming into the side boxes there, they are much more forward than the cars we have here. So the engine might be the same size, but the cooling system is going a longer way, or everything is put more forward, because of the size of those cars. They are made for not troubling the cars behind with too much dirty air. So it is kind of really interesting, because except of Alfa Romeo, everyone has presented their cars, and they have kind of a little bit different noses and side boxes as well. So it's really interesting.
But that's the thing as well, though. It just makes all of the cars so much more unique, even though they'll be all battling out at the same time. But I'm actually very excited to see what is going to be the end result of this. But we just saw AIDA come across the line with a 1:32.6, not too fast of a time, still on the chopping block. Them, Jarek's Place, and Nelson FR2, who is still yet to put in a time, as we're now nearing the end of Q2, 4.5. Close to 4.5 minutes left of Q2 left before we make our way into Q3. No crashes out so far, so that's good to see. But you can already tell with AIDA that Alfa Romeo is not suited for this track. It's a very tough track, a very high power unit track. So I'm actually surprised that we see a few Williams and a Haas in this Q2. So you can actually give the praise to those drivers.
Leclerc had a really good race with his Ferrari here. Might be his experience on the track, but he had a really good race in the Ferrari last season. And idea, yeah, this is actually idea. Man could, I think we could call it idea. he is doing pretty well with a 132.6 in the Ferrari engine. Uh, who is his teammate actually? Is he? No, it was
That was
Kieran. Kieran
yeah,
retired, yeah.
Kieran. Yeah. So unfortunately, with Kieran, had to retire early on in Q1. But look at this, Ida is going to be coming across the line and set a time of a 132.5. So that's a very, very good time. But he retires on the track. That is not a good thing to see. You do not retire on the track, especially during qualifying, because the AI will definitely take control of that car and could be messing up a driver behind, but does move out of the way perfectly in time to have Ubo continue their time, who is actually going on the medium sets.
Real War is pretty good in the Ferrari. He's sitting on P5 with 129.2. He's actually on his outlap. Yeah, retiring on track is not the best thing you can do. Most of the leagues don't want to do it. If you want to retire from a session, please go into the pits and then retire the race, because it can interfere the other drivers massively.
Oh yeah, hands down. Definitely not a good look to see, but they will be already been taken out of Q2, not improving on their time, and with those old softs they'll be starting in 12th place as it stands for now, until Nelson FR goes out there and potentially goes with a faster lap. But I'm looking at the tire allocations of these drivers. So Sam is on a set of softs with the provisional fastest lap of Q2 with a 128.034, but Mark and Alfie, Mitch GK, Rassam, Purple Sector, Robin, and Ubo, all of them are on a set of mediums. So if they get through Q2, they'll be actually starting on those set of mediums, and we could be seeing a huge pit strategy benefit them later on in this race. But Ubo is going to cross the line, does not improve on their time, but we'll have to wait and see how they do. But this is going to be very, very interesting. And Sam says that he's going to go Q3 on the mediums. But Sam, if you wanted to start on the mediums, you had to do it in Q2. Q2 is where you set which tires that you're going to use in the race if you're in the top 10. So a bit of a weird strategy in my opinion, but
mistake, yeah. You might make a huge mistake, because I know some drivers are still thinking that the tire you are making the fastest lap time in qualifying 3 is the tire you start in the race. But the rule says, Park Prix says, I think I'm not a big fan of that rule, but I mean, choosing the tire in qualifying 2, it kinda makes no sense. I don't really know, but it is kinda confusing for a couple of drivers, so yeah. So
but it does benefit the drivers though sometimes, because it actually changes how they go into the race. Because earlier on, with the pit strategy, so basically in the game, the engineer, quote-unquote, Jeff, which I think is an idiot, is actually going to be having to go through all of their analytics, trying to see what will be the best thing to start on. And to be honest with you, you can already tell between Sam and Mark and Alfie, there's only like around 0.6 of a difference between those softs and those mediums in the same power unit as well. So starting on the mediums could be a huge factor in this race.
I think personally, I don't know about the McLaren, but personally I think I have a much better pace with the medium tire in a Ferrari than the soft tires actually. Don't know why, but it feels much more comfortable on track, and I barely just miss a better lap time as the softs will do. I mean, with realistic performance, it might be possible you feel the difference between mediums and soft compared what team are you in, pretty much different. So there is maybe 1, 3 or 4 teams you're feeling absolutely more comfortable with the medium compound tire instead of the soft. So that might be a huge thing to watch for.
It'll be a key factor to watch out for. But we're actually going to be waiting on Nelson FR2 to put in finally a valid time for this qualifying session. and currently with a 106.112 in the Alpine, exiting out of S2 sector 2. And looks like I'm not like the game shows it's a purple sector, but I don't ever trust the purple sectors in this game, especially when commentating, because it always glitches out for me with those purple sectors. But he'll be coming across the line. We'll be setting a fastest lap. Let's see what's upset he's gonna do. And he goes 10th, and he pushes Hyder down and exited out of Q2. Nelson FR2 is gonna find himself in Q3. Last second chance in the final in Q2. Well, what a time to put in that sort of time.
Yeah, he is one of those I would say consistent drivers if it comes to it. But especially here in Silverstone, you have to be consistently like hell, because there's easy to invalidate in like 2 or 3 corners there, or yeah, like exceeding the track limits. It is absolutely horrible. So you have to keep yourself together, be concentrated from the first to the last lap, and being consistent. That's
and that is one of the most important things about the Formula 1 car, just trying to keep that consistency. Well, it's actually not just the Formula 1 car, it's racing in general. Trying to keep that consistency, trying to keep your skills up. But we're going to make our way into Q3. Sam takes the fastest lap once again in Q2. Hyder, Jerix, and Ida will all be knocked out of Q2. They'll be starting in 11th, 12th, and 13th. And we're going to have, to the race start, we're going to have 6 of the top 10 starting on the mediums, 4 starting on the softs. And who do you think is going to get pole position here tonight? Can you say, out of these drivers right now, who will be taking pole position here tonight?
Sam is definitely a man to watch, but Mitch definitely is always up for a surprise, so it is really hard to say who's a favorite right now.
Well, I always put in a prediction just to see if I get it right. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to say Mark and Alfie, then I'm going to say Sam, and then I'm going to say Mitch. I think that is going to be the top 3. I think Mark is going to get pole position, Sam will be in 2nd, and I think Mitch GK will get 3rd. I think that will be the top 3. That's going to be my prediction. Let's see if I'm correct. As Mark and Alfie.
Sam, Mitch, and Russell for the top 3.
So you're going to say Russell, you're going to say the other McLaren?
Yeah, Russell is... I basically know the guy from the first race, or from the let's say it was a pre-season testing. He was pretty good, so he is a secret favorite of mine. So I will say Sam, because he has a good performance at the moment, and Mitch is always a man to watch, and Russell also. So that's my top 3. For the qualifying at least.
Well, it looks like Mitch GK is actually going to be leading the outlappers. Which, actually, am I seeing that right? Hold on, am I actually seeing that right? Sam is on a set of mediums in Q3.
Yes, he is.
This is a weird qualifying strategy from this man, but we'll see if it pays off.
He didn't use the medium compound earlier, I think. So probably he just want to get a banker lap in, and saving his last soft compound tire for the final.
Okay, so I see what he's doing. Yeah, with you saying that, I think I see what he's doing. Getting those mediums, trying to get as much wear out of those mediums on the track to get a little bit more rubber down. And then go back into the pits for a set of softs. Yeah, I think that's a very smart play. But
he still can use those tires in the race. So and the advantage if you have a banker lap with a medium compound tire in, the critical first lap is just erased by that, because you have a pretty good used medium compound tire for the race instead. So he might to get rid of, or he's might getting this opportunity. We will see that.
Yeah, honestly, I cannot wait for this. I really cannot wait for this. But Mitch GK is actually giving Sam a little bit of dirty air in this qualifying lap, and we're gonna see if Sam can deal with that dirty air, because especially here at Silverstone, that dirty air can really mess you up. But I'm looking at it now. All of the drivers are out on track as it stands right now, so it's anyone's game. All of them wanting to get a good start into Q3, see where they will be putting themselves for the time being. And Mitch GK is going to be the first person to put in a time. That rear flap is wide open, and let's just see what sort of time he's going to make at the end. Of course, getting a purple sector, as he is the only person to put in a valid, well, the first person to put in a valid sector. As we're making our way down to the Vale chicane and the club corner to the Hamilton straight, he goes, puts down the hammer into the final corner. Let's see how he does. He puts a time of a 1:27.6. That is the fastest time that we have seen here tonight.
It is 4/10, or round about 4/10 faster than the qualifying 2-lap time. I told you, keep an eye on this guy. He is absolutely one of those faster ones if it comes to. And as I say, there's not much changing in the weather. It is still stays like the same temperature, maybe a little bit higher than in qualifying 1, but now we have enough rubber on the track to get into the 127, and he did. He just did it.
Honestly, capitalizing with all of that advantages, breaking that, as you did say, breaking the 127 barrier, and does it with a 127.697, so doing an extraordinary job. As I'm also seeing that Sam got a little bit of a slide through Cop's corner, saves the car, but it has invalidated their time, almost gone into the wall, but stays out there, currently still in the top 3. Mitch GK has actually, wait, what happened to, has he crashed? Mitch has crashed around Cop's corner.
Ah, that's unfortunate. That gives him not a second chance if it comes to. He has a good gap by now, or he had one, because
no, he still has a good gap. If you crash out in Q3, your time is still valid. Your time was still up there. Mitch GK still has provisional pole position. And Mark and Alfie actually just finished their lap time just then and improves it to a 128.019, almost reaching the 127 second barrier. But I'm actually going to go on board with Ubo, who is actually currently on a fast one. Let's see how he... Actually, no, he's invalidated. Never mind.
Sam actually with the medium compound at 128.3. This is epic. This is epic what's going on here right now. So, I mean, yeah, for sure. He just switched over to the soft for his final try here to qualify. This is absolutely. I can't find any words for that right now. It's just so close there.
It is a smart play, using those mediums to put a little bit more rubber on the field. And now we'll be coming out, I believe, soon enough on a set of softs. Let's see how he does. We could see him take the pole position, but as it stands now, Mitch will be having it. He'll be starting on the front row as it stands of now. But 5.5 minutes left of qualifying, and we will soon get the answer. But as we are waiting for these drivers to make their final lap times, I do want to make sure that if you guys have enjoyed or enjoying the stream so far, make sure you consider hitting the subscribe button, because if I'm commentating it, it would always be here. And don't forget to also follow Rattleman Gaming on his YouTube channel, because he will be making a re-upload onto that channel and potentially making it the official channel for Formula Racing League. But as it stands now, Sam is going to be on their outlap as they make their way down towards Cop's corner. Got a little bit of a slide through there, but does keep to manage it now. But let's see now. Ubo is actually ahead of Sam, and Ubo actually has not continued his lap. Looks like got a little bit was serving up a little bit of ERS in that AlphaTauri, as he is moving out the way to let Sam through so he can start his qualifying time as early as possible. Served up a lot of his ERS, going to be making his way down to the Vale chicane towards the Hamilton straight after the club corner. And he's going to start, goes on the hammer, especially in that Mercedes. Let's see what sort of time we'll be seeing from him here tonight. Sam makes his way across turn 1 of Abbey towards Farm and then now Village as he makes his way through. Just misses the apex, but is going to be making his way towards Loop, which he just gets a little bit closer to the apex. And now to Aintree towards the Wellington straight. Those rear flaps are wide open. He's going to go for it here, ladies and gentlemen. Go all out. He currently is up by a 10th coming out of Sector 1 into Sector 2 as he's making his way around Luffield and towards Woodcut. Let's see. Hits the apex on the inside. Not getting as close to the line on the inside there as he probably would have. But now making towards Cup's corner. Hits the apex. Carries a lot of speed through that corner as he makes his way down towards Maggots and Beckus and Chapel, hitting those chicanes, hitting the apexes, carrying that speed, keeping that momentum as he makes his way down towards the harbor front, what's called the hangar straight, all the way down towards Stowe. Currently 3/10 up on his lap. We could be seeing him get into second place as he makes his way down towards the Vale chicane of turns 16 and 17. As he comes down, puts on the hammer towards Vale to the Hamilton straight. Let's see what sort of time he's going to be setting as he goes second fastest with a 1:27.9. Breaks the 27-second barrier, but not going to be fast enough to keep up with Mitch GK in pole position. But Mitch GK, even though crashing out, still has pole position, has done an amazing job here, especially when accounted. But we're still looking at a few drivers to put in their time. Ubo actually getting very unlucky with the track limits, continuously invalidating their time, and still is yet to put in a valid time. Nelson FR looking to improve on his time of a 1:30.1 and trying to get within the 1:29s, trying to break that barrier in that Alpine as he's going to be starting a lap now. But I believe Chris is back, if I did hear that correctly.
Yeah, my microphone went off again. I really have to buy a new one or check the connection. I don't know.
Yeah.
Technical issues happening.
Yeah, just a few cable management stuff that needs to be fixed as soon as possible. But Robin, we're actually looking at Robin improving out of the exit of Sector 2. He's going to come across the Hamilton straight and set a new fastest time of 1:28.714, 4 thousandths of a second behind the McLaren of Rassam M. Feo. But Rassam M. Feo is currently 3/10 up on his lap. He makes exiting out of Sector 1, entering Sector 2, making his way down potentially towards Cobb's corner. His teammate of Mark and Alfie could be looking at giving him a little bit of a tow through the hangar straight, and that's going to help him get a huge time as he negotiates with Maggots and Beckett's. Reaches the hangar straight. The rear flaps are wide open. Currently 8/10 up on his time. We could be looking at him reaching the 1:27s. Let's see what type of time Rassam is going to be putting in. Let's see if you're going to be right here, Chris, and putting Rassam into the podium positions as we have 30 seconds left of Q3 left, and he gets a little bit of a slide through Vale chicane as he gets on the throttle now, and he lost a lot of time. Only improves, but really lost it at the end.
That's unfortunate with a nice slipstream from his teammate. That's unfortunate, but yeah, you can... That's
hold on! Nelson has gone into the wall. Sorry to cut you off there, Chris, but Nelson is now out, crashing out, ending with a 1:30.1, coming his way around Village right before a loop, and the loop turn, and he just put on the throttle way too early and gone into the wall. Broken Alpine, hopefully getting that car fixed for the Grand Prix. Only have a few minutes time until we actually have it, but now we're looking at both Sam coming across the final corner, 2/10 up, and he gets pole position with a 1:27.546, making it count just in time. Well done to Sam. Now we're looking at Mark and Alfie making his way down. Could be improving on his time, and if he gets faster than Mitch, then actually no, I still would have been incorrect. But
But look at that. Sam had 3 laps on a soft tire. Where did he get the pace for third fastest lap time with that tire? Where it is absolutely amazing.
Well, it's just the tire management and the skill of the driver. But we're looking at Mark and Alfie come across the line. He does improve into the 127s, but it's not going to be enough to improve on his position. Made his way up to third with a 127.8 recurring, and with also Rassam entering the pit lane. That is going to be it for qualifying here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A few minutes until we have the Formula Racing League Grand Prix season premiere here at Silverstone. Only a few minutes away. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back after a few seconds.
A good qualifying for the McLaren, that's absolutely sure. Good performance on the home race. So we have Sam leading the pack in the qualifying. We have Mitch. He retired early on in that qualifying. He sets astonishing 127.6, 127.5, I believe, on second place. Yeah.
Honestly, I honestly cannot wait for this. But Sam gets pole position, but we'll be starting on a set of softs where Mitch, Mark, and Rassam will all be starting on a set of mediums in second, third, and fourth. So Sam will be making an early pit stop at the beginning of this race. But Sam takes pole position. Lining up on the front row with him will be Mitch in the AlphaTauri. Then we have the 2 McLarens side by side, Mark and Alfie, and Rassam. Then we have an Alpine of Robin, the Mercedes of Purple Sector, Rio Raw in the Ferrari of 7th, Rattleman Gaming in the Red Bull in 8th, Nelson FR2 in the Alpine in 9th, and we have Ubo, the AlphaTauri, in 10th. And we will be having one formation lap before we start this race. But let's see, it's been cloudy all qualifying. Are we looking at a wet Grand Prix? I think it will be dry, to be honest with you, because then why else would they use those mediums in Q2?
That's the fact. That's the fact. Yeah, a lot of guys they're choosing the medium compound, so it's gotta be start as a dry race. It is not much of a change in the weather, but there is still the possibility that we see rain throughout the race. So it starts probably like usual in the middle part of the race, probably short after the start, or even more at the end of the race. You can't never know. But compared to the qualifying, the weather looks like it's a little bit warmer. The clouds getting a little bit more off.
I'm starting to see a little bit more blue into the sky. And, like there is a majority of clouds. It's still a cloudy day here at Silverstone, but I'm seeing a little bit of blue in the skies now as we are waiting for the drivers to set their pit strategy, set like any last minute changes on their setup, and we are about to be underway.
Let's say it's the usual weather in Great Britain, so a little bit with to a little bit massive cloudy, mandatory. So yeah. You never know, we will see as we get into the formation lap with all those awesome drivers here.
Oh, but we already have 2 drivers being disqualified from the formation lap. Looks like they forgot that we have a formation lap here tonight. Mafuta and Mihai DMC, they will be both disqualified from the formation lap and practically will be starting on a set of ice blocks. But I'm looking at this now. Kieran, who is starting at the back of the grid, is going to be starting on a set of hards here tonight, where the top 5, well, sorry, not the top 5, the top 10. There's only 6 drivers on the mediums. Everyone else is on the softs, and Kieran is on the set of hards.
It might. I mean, What did he have to lose? He is starting on the on dead last. What he has to lose? I mean, the possibility for an early safety car is pretty much given here in Silverstone. So he might winning in the end, just getting a couple places, getting absolutely deep into the race, and getting probably, just probably, a soft tire on it for his last stint. That might be getting him up in front. I really see it, but Sam on the other side, with his soft tires, he has to face 5 or 6 drivers behind him. They probably can put a massive pressure on him, because it might be going well for the first 9 or 10 laps, but after that he's not able to push anymore. So the strategy call here is absolutely important for the Mercedes driver.
Yep, I mean, we'll see who is going to be the one to come out on top, as the AIs are now controlling the cars for the starting grid. Sam will be starting in front with a set of softs. Mitch, Mark, Rassam, and Robin all behind with a set of mediums. Everyone else on the softs except for Ubo, who's also on a set of mediums. And then Kieran at the back starting on a set of hards. The only driver to start on a set of hards. And we are about to get underway as all of the drivers are starting to get lined up, waiting for it. The green flag is being shown on the side of the track. But we are going to be waiting for the 5 red lights before we start the British Grand Prix.
There's a little bit of delay, at least from my side.
Yep, we're just waiting. They're just getting everything sorted on their ends as we're about to get 5 red lights. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone is still loading in, just waiting for it to come up. Any minute now. Okay, what's going on?
It might be a little glitch. So now we have the pit strategies. Soft to mediums is up. Oh, there's someone just passing by. It is Williams.
Yeah, I just saw that. I don't know who that was. Was that Jarek's? Yeah, that's Jarek's, and that's the AI of Jarek's. I think we have a glitched lobby here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
That's unfortunate. But the qualifying went so well without any interruptions, and now they are stuck on the start-finish line. And Williams driver is don't know, might be having just a little bit practice time. And
everyone's saying it will fix itself. Actually, it will fix itself. So with Jarek's actually kept on leaving and joining. Yep, looks like it's going to be fixing itself now.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh,
what the? Okay, we're on the way for the British Grand Prix.
Oh, we have a massive carnage in the midfield there. There's an AlphaTauri involved.
And that's a VSC.
2, I believe. No, it's turn 3 actually.
No, that's turn 1. No, it's turn 1 with Madman Adam and the Aston Martin and Jarixa plays in the Williams, and that's going to be improved to a full safety car.
That's unfortunate. Let's keep us together and try to find out where's everyone. My goodness, is also spread up. We had a carnage. We had a really that was the fastest 5 red lights I ever had in this game. To be honest. So
I mean, I've seen faster, especially at Singapore, but
doesn't matter. The field is rolling. We have 2 DNFs already. We have penalties for idea. Oh, and Kieran already is up 5 places. He's on 15. But we have a safety car. Might we see Sam getting into the pits early and getting
Yeah, but I'm honestly so confused about what in the world just happened. Like, I'm actually so confused. As voice of Chris has been Chris has disconnected. Looks like everything is going wrong here tonight.
Actually, the race is over on my screen.
Yeah, I just saw that you disconnected out. Guys, you're gonna be seeing a quick blue screen as I'm gonna be shooting you an invite real quick. Yeah, no worries. Just restart your app and you should be able to make your way back in. This lobby is fully glitched. I don't know if we're having a restart here, guys. If people can let me know if we're having a restart or not. Because it looks like this race has already been postponed and we do not want to postpone it anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly the same problem what I had last week. I just getting pushed into it's like another different dimension. I was in the lobby all by myself, and the rest was driving like normally. Just after the safety car restart, the race was over, and I don't know. I think it is about my connection. How I said, we have a massive snowstorm going on the last couple of days, and our wires for power lines and internet lines are all above ground, so they are absolutely getting let me say fucked up. Don't want to say like words like that, but there's no better explanation for that. This makes no sense to put those lines between trees and whatnot. It is the American style, and I don't like it either.
Yeah, very unfortunate to see, but we should be back underway in a few seconds once Mihai, Mafuta, and Kieran all make their way back up. Kieran actually started on the hards, but is now going on a set of softs. So with that earlier intention and broke his front wing, well, not intention, incident, and when he broke his front wing, he's going to be having to start once again, but on a set of softs. But we're going to have to wait and see what is going to be the outcome, as we're going to be having another lap of safety car. So we're going to be bearing with us for a little bit as we're watching the safety car come around the corner, the Aston Martin safety car, and Sam is glitching all over the track. What is going on here?
Kieran gets a 5-second time penalty with a collision with someone, but he went into the pits and he abandoned his original strategy. He is on P18 with a brand new set of soft tires. That might be a little bit too early, because if he decides to go now on the soft tires, why he didn't start it even on a soft tire? Or did he had a front wing damage? For sure he has front wing damage by now after that collision, but he abandoned his brilliant strategy with the hard compound tire. That's unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can have a good comeback, because he is one of those drivers. He is absolutely up for surprises. So
well, we'll have to wait and see.
The McLaren is playing.
Oh, Mark and Alfie has spun off the track and has fallen down just ahead of Ida, the AI Alfa Romeo, and also Tony having to get back to position. So Mark and Alfie is now down to 10th after spinning around under the safety cars. Even though the safety car is still out, these drivers still need to keep those tires warm as they come around this track. Even though they're not going to go as fast as optimal speed, they still need to keep aware of it. But yeah, he said that no, come on, no, don't. Vera Williams, no. You were warming tires and span, might as well leave. No. You still have plenty of race left over. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Keep that positive mentality, buddy.
Keep it up, mate. Nothing is lost. The race is gonna be really, really long today.
Yep, but we're actually gonna go up with Sam, who is actually gonna be restarting the safety car period, restarting this race, and he's gonna be making that those drivers behind him as compact as possible. But where would you say is going to be the most optimal point to restart this race? Potentially around the final corner, or go on the throttle right after the Vale chicane?
It's hard to say. Might be smart to stay behind until the situation is cleared up a little bit, but he had a really good restart.
Hold on, look at this now. Bobby Doyle. Oh, he's in AI mode. Never mind. Because I saw a few drivers got spun around with Mafuta, Mihai, and also Kieran making his way back into the pit lane with that front wing damage. But what a start from Sam, as we have Nelson FR2 off at the track, spun around turn 2, and he has fallen down to 17th position. But I do gotta say, what a start from Sam, already getting 1.3 seconds ahead of Mitch GK right behind. So timing that safety car restart to perfection, doing such an amazing job. But Mitch is trying to keep up, but with those set of mediums, not going to be able to keep up earlier on in this race. Later on, it'll be having a huge advantage, as we're now seeing Hyder and Tony Flang having going side by side. Tony Flang now hitting the gravel around the woodcut.
The connection, I think from my side he's lagging so much. I hope it is not affecting the other drivers.
Oh, hold on. We might see another overtake here. Sorry to cut you off. But Hyder and Mark and Alfie, as Hyder just got the overtake in the Haas compared to a McLaren. Well done to Hyder. Really showing that the Haas has a pretty good unit if you can control it. Mihai and Bobby Doyle having a little bit of a battle. Mihai going past both of the AIs of Bobby Doyle and Ida. So pushing their way up to 13th.
Sitting in the Haas okay, it is a soft tire, but getting himself up to P9 is absolutely amazing, and I hope to see Mick Schumacher one day at the same position. Absolutely an amazing effort from that Haas driver there.
Honestly, extraordinary scenes, but Real Raw has crashed out!
Oh no!
And that's another safety car. 2 safety cars already in this race here at Silverstone. From a glitch lobby. Well, we're still in a glitch lobby. And 2 safety cars already. But all of these drivers are just going too early with the pressure on those cars. Need to survive at the beginning of the race. Just keep that patience trying to battle out. And now you'll be making those mistakes like Real Raw, Madman, and Jerix, all crashing out early on in this race. Nelson is now gotten a drive-through penalty, speeding under the safety car. Needs to watch out for that Delta.
He retired in turn 3. This is a pretty unusual spot to retire there. It is most likely usual to retire in turn 1, because if you hit the curb too much, it sends you into the spin, and you making like a 180 degrees straight into the wall. But turn 3, it is so wide out there, the walls are pretty much far away from you, so it is, maybe there was contact, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but Sam is going to make his way into the pit lane. And looks like same with Rattleman Gaming from what it looks like. Yeah, Rattleman Gaming also going into the pit lane. Sam is going with a set of mediums, where Rattleman is going with a set of hards.
He's going for one stop, that's confirmed.
I mean, same with Sam. You can make those mediums last 20, maybe 19 laps. Hence, you could definitely do that.
Is this actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is 20 laps from now on. And he was pretty good in saving his tires in the qualifying, so it might paying off for him. At least it was a pretty smart move to go into the pits for a fresh set of mediums right now. But what we never know, he might have the used medium tire from the qualifying, which we said earlier. Maybe he put this one on and going for a 2-stop, getting a fresh set of soft tires for the end of the race. I don't know. You might have to watch out that, but I would think he might get the absolutely fresh set of mediums on, which is most likely the only option you can have right now. So he might get to the end of the race. But we'll see.
Might, but it's going to be a very tough order for him. But as it stands now, he's doing exactly what he needed. Going on the set of mediums, already done the pit stop, so he can just race on those set of mediums and just finish. All he needs to do is just keep a clean race, stay within a pit, like with the time gap. He needs to stay within a pit lane time gap, which is probably like around maybe 20 seconds, maybe 24. And once those drivers ahead of him makes their pit stop, Sam could be looking at a early race win here tonight.
I think he has a good opportunity because safety car, the field is bunched up, so he's absolutely within the 20 seconds he needs. 24.8 seconds is the average time you need for the pit stops. Not even more, because yeah, the pit entry is pretty much early and you're losing a lot of time there. So if you make the pit stop, it gives you a free pit stop in Silverstone. Is absolutely gold. So all what he needs to do is basically just waiting because everyone in front of him needs to pit at some point, and he is what we predicted. He is most likely going to go for the end. So he needs patience, and with his pace, if he is doing it right and don't do anything stupid, he might get easy overtakes and getting through the field like in no time. But he needs to be consistent. He needs to be aware of where can I do it and where not. So it is 50-50 for him. He can destroy his own race by now, or he stays patient behind the other ones just for a couple of laps and stay in the range to Mitchell. Then he's probably good to go for the win. But he has to play it smart.
But that's what all these drivers need to do, as we are now looking at Nelson FR2 make his way out of the pit lane now for a front wing change and a change from hards to mediums. So we're going to see how he does later on, but Mitch GK is going to be leading the safety car restart, and we could be seeing the safety car come in this lap. And if we do, Nelson needs to pick up the pace, catch back up with the pack, and he'll be golden. But Nelson has around 40 seconds behind, and he needs to catch up. Just entering sector 1, where we are now entering almost sector 3 at this point. Needs to keep that pace, needs to catch up, or else he will not be there for the safety car restart, and they will be running away with it.
He needs, he loses even more time by now. He's now by over 41 seconds behind. That's what I have seen lately pretty much often, that one of those now he's catching up, losing a lot of time behind the safety car. Might be a glitch, I don't know, but now he is catching up.
Well, it looks like Mafuta and Mihai DMC. Actually, no, we're having another lap of safety cars, so the safety car is allowing Nelson FR2 to catch back up at the pack. But I'm looking at this right now. Mafuta and Mihai also had another collision, but Mafuta is actually able to make his way past during the safety car period. And it looks like a valid overtake as well. But the thing is, he's getting really close to the back end of some of these drivers. Needs to give a little bit more respect to the track, or else he'll be getting himself more penalties. Same goes with Hyder, who actually just overtook Rattleman Gaming.
I mean, all around Sam, the pack is so bunched up. I mean, 10 cars length behind the car in front of you. Please keep more space. You're not helping yourself with that, because they are so close to one another. It is not helping. This is absolutely not helping. It gives you even more trouble on track and more penalties, even damage. Just keep the distance and try to be ready to brake at all times.
Yeah, honestly, because you never know when someone's going to suddenly go on the brakes to warm up those brakes. But I think I know what was going on. Nelson FR2. Oh, what is Kieran doing? Catching right to the outside and giving both him and Rattleman Gaming 5 seconds. Just no one is giving the respect of the track. What is going on here tonight, ladies and gentlemen? These guys need to give each other more space.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, safety car, I mean, every driver knows how the rules in safety car is. No stopping on track, so you don't have the right to stop. And on the other side, get the respect. They are too close to it, and this even at the end of the safety car, what we have right now, the field is even more bunched
Oh,
up.
and
Look
Kieran does it again.
Chaos.
Kieran does it
chaos.
again. Kieran has done it again.
This is not what we want to see, to be completely honest. I mean, you know the rules, you know the trick. Just stay behind. There's no allowance to drive side by side. Stay behind in a good different spot. Mitch is now on the run. Can he do a better restart? He's 1.1 seconds ahead.
So he's doing a pretty good job so far at the beginning of that safety car restart. We're also seeing Sam make their way past Mihai for that ninth place position. Mark and Alfie gonna go side by side with Hyder. And they're bumping tires, they're bumping body work out there. Needs to give the space of the track if you're trying to make an overtake. And Mark and Alfie's gonna go around the outside, hit Hyder on the inside, and he's gonna push his way through. Gonna go past the two AI cars of Bobby Doyle and Ida, and made his way up to 11th place. Yeah, and we have someone saying that's poor driving under safety cars, so bad. I could not agree with you more, mate. That was just outrageous in my opinion. And with me being a commentator, I'm not supposed to do stuff like that. But if I see something that I don't agree with, I'm gonna speak out of it. Like,
we have the freedom of speak. But correct me if I'm wrong. That was the second safety car phase, right? So
yep.
Kieran,
Make it 3. Virtual.
After the second safety car, he went for another time into the pits. He had to change the front wing. Guys, please. This is not usual online racing we have in rankings or whatever. So safety car is absolutely clear how you have to drive, how you have to behave, and this is absolutely.
And Tony Flange forgetting to slow down during the pit entry and giving himself automatically 5 seconds, just not slowing down whatsoever, not respecting the rules. As I'm pretty sure a lot of these drivers out here are pretty fed up with all of these safety cars, all of these crashes, and to be honest with you, same here. I want to see clean racing. I want to see what this league can give us, Formula Racing League, and
I know what you mean. I don't want to put anyone into a dirt position, but I mean, okay, they are nervous. So for most of the drivers, as I said before, this is their home Grand Prix. They want to make the best out of it, but hitting someone in a safety car is hurting you even more. You have to be patient as hell. So
yep.
You have Queen. You have
and
Queen.
Tony Flange. Sorry, I just saw that Tony Flange not respecting the pace of the Delta and gets a drive-through penalty. We're actually going to look at these penalties real quick, actually. So Tony Flange is going to be having to reserve a drive-through penalty where we actually saw his teammate of, I think it's his teammate of Nelson FR2, but he crashed out and is the reason for the virtual safety car. We are back underway, but actually I'm gonna look back at look near the back as we have Mihai and Mark and Alfie going side by side up Stowe. Mihai on the inside, Mark and Alfie on the outside. He's gonna have the better traction, and he's gonna push his way towards 8th place. A beautiful clean overtake there from Mark and Alfie. But going down to the time penalties, we have Mihai with 10 seconds, Rattleman Gaming with 5 after being hit by Kieran, Hyder with 5 seconds. Then we have, this is strange to me, Ida, which is an AI, has 5 seconds of time penalties. Tony Flange with the drive-through and some time penalties. Mafuta with 5 seconds, and Kieran with a whole 21 seconds. A whole 21 seconds. That's like one of the highest I've ever seen.
We don't even have half point of the race, so he should be pretty much careful what he's doing, because at a certain point you're getting disqualified. I don't know, in F1 2020 it was 30 seconds limit. I don't know what is about here. I saw time penalties over 30 seconds, so they might change this and making it. I mean, there might be no limit for it, but I mean, 21 seconds. it's not worth to get any further. Because the race is already over with that much of penalties, to be completely honest. But
Yeah.
I mean, I giving the clap of appreciation that he's still driving, because some drivers they're giving up with the slightest single mistake or whatever, but he is still keeping his man. So absolutely amazing job, even with the 21 second time penalty. It's unfortunate, but he's still keeping on. You never know what happened.
Well, we're going to be looking at this battle now for 14th. Mafuta and Tony Flange were going side by side through Cup's corner, and Mafuta was able to make his way past up to 14th place. So doing a good drive there. Still waiting on Tony Flange to serve that drive-through penalty. And if he doesn't serve it soon, he will be getting the black and white flag and be disqualified from this race.
The field is pretty much spread up right now, just shortly after the safety car. Sam is doing a great job. He's already up to P7, and he is still in the pit stop range. So, and with Mitch, well, all in once, the top 4 are on 11 lap old medium tires. So, I'm not quite sure what is the deadline for the medium tire in things of.
It's like around, I would say probably like around 18 or 17 laps on mediums.
And he is still underneath the 20-second mark.
Oh, hold on. We could be looking at a change in second place. Rassam with the DRS is starting to catch up with the Alpine driver of Robin FR, but Rassam getting a little bit of oversteer, making his way down Stowe. Sorry to cut you off there, Chris, but it looked promising, but nothing really came out of it. But we're also looking at Sam right behind Ubo, and Sam has been having such a really good recovery drive, making that pit stop early on after the second safety car, going on a set of mediums, and he gets the fastest lap so far with a 1:30.8. He is pushing through this pack.
Yeah, again, he is actually the fastest driver on the field. The problem what Weston has is Robin is pretty much faster on the straightaways, and Weston is stick into the dirty air, but now he is trying to make a move, and he is getting through it. He is taking place.
So Sam has made his way through. I actually just missed that, but look at this now from Sam. Looking for the move on the inside, the late dive on the inside, going side by side, and Sam just couldn't get the job done. Ubo defends on the outside of turn 6 after the Wellington straight, and he's going to stay in that position. Kieran gets another 3 seconds, up to 24 seconds now. But look at this now. Is Sam going to be looking to do a Hamilton? On the inside, side by side to Cops! And they kept it clean. They kept it clean. Ubo stays in 6th place. You gotta give praise to Sam there, knowing to when to brake, not to crash into the side of Ubo, because with that sort of like distance, he could have easily taken out Ubo. But with the DRS now, with the slipstream and the ERS, is able to take it now as he makes his way up to Stowe. Now up to 6th place for Sam.
Good, but I nearly had a deja vu or a flashback with Mercedes against a Honda engine in that turn. My goodness, I said patience, wait for the hanger straight. This is absolutely a safe point to overtake, especially when you're faster. But mate, he had to leave the track a little bit. He had to cut it off not to touch the AlphaTauri. My goodness, he is absolutely on fire at the minute.
Yeah, we almost had, we were practically experienced PTSD from that, but Sam and Ubo were able to keep it clean through that sector and doing an extraordinary job. But Shaden now.
Than Hamilton.
What happened?
He did a better job than Hamilton, that's for sure.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm looking at this now. Sam is actually starting to catch up with Shaden up ahead as we're nearing the halfway point of this Grand Prix. And one thing I always... oh, go ahead.
Shaden is on, I believe, 11 lap old soft tires, so his tires are pretty much on the end. And compared, he has time penalty, so it might be his pit stop window is open by now, because 11 laps are pretty much what you can do with the softs.
Yep, but there you go. He's going in now. He's making that pit stop now, and now Sam is going to be eyeing down his teammate, actually, of Purple Sector. Both the Mercedes drivers doing a very good race here tonight. But are they able to keep that momentum coming near to the end of this race?
After the qualifying, it was looking pretty good for the McLaren, but they are pretty much split up. But Wesson, up to second place from P4, he's absolutely doing it clean. He's driving consistently. He stays round about 4.5 seconds behind Mitch. So there's nothing. Mitch is a little bit faster with his. It's pretty much even, I think. But Sam, he is absolutely. How Fluff would say, he's absolutely breaking the noise right now. This is his
yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a stretch here. But
yeah, it's I don't blame you.
Oh, we have a spin out on track, and I think that is Shaden. Shaden spinning out. Kieran has gotten another 3 seconds. I'm kind of curious. Let's see how many time penalties Kieran is on right now. 30 seconds!
Wow, that's a new record.
He's on 30 seconds. Tony Flange is on 22. What is going on?
I didn't see that performance from Kieran before, so he might not be lucky with his setup, or he is probably major trouble to keep his car in a good pace here. Wesson gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. That's not helping him out.
No, but that is going to give Sam the opportunity to go into the podiums as it stands for now. But Mitch is just making those mediums last as long as he potentially can, and still yet to go into the pit lane. Probably going to be looking around maybe lap 17 or maybe lap 18 to make his stop for those softs. But it looks like Sam is in current provisional race lead at this point.
Wait a minute. I mean, at the start of the last lap, he was more than 1 second behind his teammate. Now he is over almost 2 seconds in front of his teammate. Might be a little bit of I let you by, my mate.
Yeah, it would have been an easy overtake around Stowe that both of the Mercedes teammates, both of the Mercedes drivers did out there, and it's good communication between those drivers as well. Just not trying to instigate any sort of battles between the teammates, not trying to instigate any sort of moments that could ruin their race. But as it stands now, Sam is in second, and Purple Sector is now in third. As is Mitch. Mitch is going into the pit lane now. He's going into the pit lane, and that's going to be giving Sam the pole position, the first place, as we are coming to the near end of this race. It's Purple Sector. Purple Sector staying out as well.
He is absolutely going for the soft tire right now, so that gives him a huge advantage. So he had 9 seconds before he entered the pit lane. So it might be a huge. He's actually, he's going to the soft. He is going out currently on P6, 7, and 6. Because Vettelman is over 23 seconds behind him. He is 7 about 8 seconds behind Sam. That's gonna be a hunt in the end. Oh, there was a collision between Mitch and Vettelman, I think. Well, Vettelman lost it. I saw a Red Bull sliding around there.
Yeah, it looks like he has fallen down now to 9th place.
He was. I saw a Red Bull sliding around. I think it was Vettelman. I don't know if it was their contact. I missed it, or I didn't realize it, but it was kind of curious.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this now. We're actually seeing Mark and Alfie getting right to the tail end of Ubo on those set of hearts. Let's see if he's able to get it done now with the DRS, with the ERS and the slipstream. The rear flashing red lights from Ubo as he does nudge Mark and Alfie on the hangar straight. But Mark and Alfie pushes his way up to third after crashing into the rear end of Purple Sector. He is not watching ahead of him. For Purple Sector now got a 5-second time penalty for being nudged into the pit lane, and he's going to be having to serve that at the end of this race. Could be potentially taken off, but what did we just witness there?
crazy things going on here right now. I think some people are a little bit too eager right now, or just unconcentrated. I don't know. I mean, you can see pretty much deep into the pit lane, so you can see if there's a car in front of you, you can brake accordingly. So, but this was, my goodness.
Honestly, so confused by that just now. But we're looking near the back, where with Purple Sector just coming out of the pit lane, Shaden is right on the tail end of Purple Sector, but with Purple Sector having those set of softs, he's going to be having a little bit of an advantage in that Mercedes, as he's going to be pushing ahead and could be catching up with Hyder up ahead. He does have the advantage of the tires and also the advantage of the engine compared to the Haas Hyder. But Hyder, he's still got to praise Hyder, even with that Haas just still pushing out and still putting in a very, very good race here tonight. Really shows that the skill difference between the skill gap between these drivers is a bit.
What happened to Mitch? He went from P6. He came out of the pits on 6th place. He's now P11.
Probably had to serve a 5-second time penalty or something. I'm not too sure. We're gonna have to check back at the end of this. But one person that we could be looking at for a potential driver of today is, it might have to be Sam at this point. Just getting the fastest laps in all of the qualifying sections, like all Q1, 2, and 3, getting the fastest laps. Got the pole position. Got a huge lead up at the beginning, making the pit strategy work with the one stop, and is currently leading this race as we're coming to the near endings.
I would think my contenders for driver of the day would be Mihai, is sitting on P3. Mark also, he started on P3. He had a little bit of a situation throughout the race. And,
yeah, at the beginning,
he was fighting back massively. That's my main contender, those both. But also, the rest is. I would say give the title to Mark today, because.
Oh, hold on! What's going on? Sam is going into the pit lane. Are those mediums? Are those mediums not lasting? Are they not lasting as long as he intended? As he's gonna go on 4 set of softs. So Mark finds himself in the lead.
And he can go to the end. He is on a hard tire. And he is over. He is far more than.
Oh, but Sam has crashed out on the final corner. We're gonna go on board with Ida. And that's a safety car, a late safety car call. And that could be messing up Mark's chances of taking the race win here tonight. He had such a huge gap between him, Mihai, Robin, and Sam. I mean, he could go for a pit stop right now once he makes his way towards the pit lane. But
I don't know what's happened to
there we go. Sorry.
He's not doing a favor to his teammate right now.
No, he is not. But the thing is, Kieran has gotten the black and white flags. He has been disqualified for multiple time penalties in this race. He finds himself where he started, at the bottom of the grid. Kieran is out of this race.
And this is getting down to just half the grid still in the race for the last, for the last 6th lap with the rest of this one. Oh,
well, let's
and
see.
Mark, he had so a strong strategy, and he's going into the pits. It is the best.
Oh, and he gave himself a 5-second time penalty. These drivers are not looking at the delta, not looking at the pace that they need to have to be required to enter the pit lane without a time penalty, and these drivers are just throwing away their chances.
He's still good to go because Mihai is going into the pits as well, and he has a time penalty as well.
But Robin and Sam though, they have no time penalties, just coming out on a set of softs, could be getting past them. And look at this, Robin is going to be taking the lead now.
at this point, Sam and Robin are fighting it out for the last couple of. It depends on when the safety car is coming in, but those both guys fighting it out. But the thing is, Robin has 4 lap-old tires, and Sam has a fresh set of soft tires. So that's gonna be just probably an easy win for him.
Yeah,
But
and the
Robin
thing is,
was-
could we be looking at Sam taking a race win now? Because he has the better engine, he has the better car, he has the younger set of soft tires, which means he will be a lot faster. And especially if we get this safety car started as soon as possible, we'll be looking at probably a near finish with the DRS. So Sam has everything going for him here tonight.
The safety car needs to get in as soon as possible that we can see probably brilliant finish of this race. Even Robin, he was driving absolutely consistent. I don't know where he was starting at, but he made an absolutely consistent race. And I mean, he's in an RP, so Alpine or whatever. He's sitting on first. So, and this is realistic performance, guys. I mean, this is definitely a man to watch. If he's not winning the race tonight, that doesn't matter. But he's set his mark here right now.
Honestly, but Mark and Elfie has his opportunity taken away from him in the near endings of this race. But
yeah, Mark with that speeding in the pit lane, it was unnecessary because his win is on the line right now. If he could be a little bit more carefully, then it would be an probably easy win. Well, yes, an easy win because he has the fresher tires. He's even fresher tires than Sam, and he could keep up with him in the final stage of the race. But now he has a 5-second time penalty. Even if he gets by, he has just a couple of laps to get 5 seconds gap.
and I don't see that happening. Me personally, I don't see that happening.
Let's be realistic. Sam is on normal circumstances, as it stands right now, and he proved it in a qualifying all over. Qualifying 1, 2, and 3. He is the fastest man on track tonight, and he is not. There's no chance that anyone at this minute gets a 5-second gap in front of him. I don't even see Mark getting that place.
Yeah,
Then will we have a brilliant restart of the safety car like we have seen earlier, and he might get right over Robin.
yeah, but it's gonna be a unusual safety car restart where Sam wants to get it started as soon as possible, but he needs to be careful because if he does hit Robin or Robin does hit him, they will each get 5 seconds, and this race could be Mark's to win. But actually, as we are looking at that, talking about time penalties, we're actually going to look at the time penalties as of now, where Mark will have 5 seconds, Purple Sector will have 8, Shaden will have 9, where we have Mahai with 5 seconds, Mitch with 3 seconds, Rattleman Gaming with 3, Mafuta with 6, and Tony Flange with the whole 20.
This is massive. As it stands, if Mark can keep his possession, it might be a good podium place for him today. I said, remarkable driving from him. Those 5-second time penalty in the end were absolutely hurting him. But it now comes to Sam and Robin. How can they deliver? And I think the safety car is still not coming in, so we have to deal with just 2 or 3 laps of the end of the race. Normally the safety car is coming in a little bit earlier when we are getting close to the end of the race, but yeah, he still stays out there. So we have probably just 3 laps of racing.
We would only have 3 laps of racing, and let's say Robin is having a little bit of connectivity issues up the front just then. I just saw him pull practically a little bit of a Slenderman in that Alpine car, but We're still waiting on Bobby Doyle's AI to catch back up with the pack. And we'll be seeing a late safety car call at the start of lap 24 of 26 as Mark and Alfie hit Sam.
Oh, no.
And now Sam has 5 seconds. And that has ruined Sam's chance. And Robin has been given an opportunity to take the win here tonight.
But I'm pretty sure that he wants to get this 5 seconds removed. I don't know what's happened there. I didn't have any view of that, but that's the app. I see damage on the Ferrari front wing. I see massive damage. Half of the front wing is gone.
Oh, and Mark and Alfie actually has a lost left end plate. Robin has crashed out! Robin!
What's going on
Robin
here?
has crashed out!
He crashed out in the safety. What is going on here, guys?
Looks like he got on the throttle a little bit too early coming around the what corner is that? Luffield. And he is now into the wall, and Sam's chance of winning this race is now back in order. But Ubo as well, though, having no time penalties to his name, sits behind 4 drivers with time penalties.
And if he can keep this together, he is making a big jump. Just remember, he started on P10. No time set in qualifying. The safety car is coming in now. It's the opportunity for those guys. They don't have penalties. Because the guys in front of you, they have en masse penalties at the moment.
Yep, but this is Sam's race to get a potential to get those 5 seconds being removed.
What a race that is. What a race it is.
But as it stands now, Ubo is 2.5 seconds behind, waiting for Sam to put down the hammer. Mark and Alfie is just waiting for it, and there he goes. Mark and Alfie goes into the pit lane because of front wing damage, and we see a Mercedes 1-2 for the time being. And now Purple Sector playing the team game, not reacting as quick. And Mark and Alfie has retired from the session because of his mistakes, and he's fallen down to 11th place, but a potential 13th once Ida and Tony Flange unlap themselves. But Sam has restarted. Ubo was trying to make a battle between him, Mitch, and Mihai, and has fallen down. Ubo has a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags, and he's falling down. Now going to be going side by side with Rattleman. Hyder could be looking at a potential podium, but this is Sam's race to win now. Sam has done everything so far. 3 more laps left to go. And this is going to be a very controversial ending to this race. Whereas Purple Sector, let's actually look at the time penalties now, with a few people getting crashed out. As we have another one, Tony Flange has crashed out in the same corner as Robin. But it's too late to have another safety car. It is too late, as this race is going to continue till the finish line, till we see that checkered black and white flag.
Too many guys getting on the gas too early. Or is it just the track is losing grip on a certain time, on certain spots? I have no idea, because we have 2 retirements in the same corner, nearly at the end of the race. That's kind of confusing.
Yep.
But Hyder is looking for a whole bunch of points tonight. Absolutely an amazing drive, and he is going into second to last lap right now.
Yeah, but we're also looking at Mark and Elfie has now left the session. Unfortunate for you, my man. But hopefully you will be here next week to try and get a little bit of redemption. And that's to anyone that has crashed out. We are near half of the grid at this point in this race. But looking at it now, we could be looking at a Mercedes 1-2 here tonight. Oh, but look at Hyder and Ubo. Ubo on the inside of Hyder as they come around after the Wellington Straight. And Ubo pushes his way back up to 6th.
But it might be worth the risk. I mean, he has a 5-second time penalty. It was a brilliant move, to be completely honest, but is it worth? I mean, there's still 1 lap chance for Hyder to get a time penalty. But yeah.
I have no idea, to be honest with you, mate. It's going to be very close regardless of the result. But Purple Sector is actually doing a very good team play here. After Sam was given a 5-second time penalty for having a collision with Mark and Alfie, which I do believe was Mark and Alfie's fault, but we'll have to look back at the replay. But and also Rattleman Gaming gets another 3 seconds for corner cutting. Multiple warnings of corner cutting as well. But Sam, with the fastest lap of a 129.3, is going to be finishing on the final lap. DRS has now been enabled. And both of the Mercedes cars won't be having DRS. Neither is Shaden with Mihai with a desperate dive on the inside. Oh, and then they collide, the Ferrari and the Red Bull. The Ferrari is just pushing the Red Bull off of the track. Dirty racing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, where we are looking at Mitch GK with a potential double overtake around the outside of the Wellington Straight.
What is going on here?
Oh, but...
for that.
Yeah, Mitch couldn't get it done. He was able to get past Mihai, who made a seriously desperate move on the inside, but it has unfortunately fallen apart for him. But Mitch has pushed his way up to 4th, could be looking at a potential podium finish here tonight. Has Shaden up ahead, and will be getting DRS into the hangar straight. And look how much this Shaden's trying to pull away with corner lines, just cutting the track as much as he can. Mitch is going to be making the move here. DRS has been enabled. Shaden has nothing to do, and Mitch pulls his way up front. But we're going to go on board with Sam, who's going to be coming across the final 2 turns to round the final corner to the Hamilton Straight. And Sam has done everything he needed as he spins around in style for that first place win. Purple Sector crossing the line in 2nd, serving a 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. And we see Mitch push his way up to 2nd. And Hyder's up in the podium!
Yes. What a move. I mean, podium place for a Haas on realistic performance. This is absolutely epic. Absolutely. That is a legend. That's a legend. That's going into this driver of the day as well. Absolutely deserved. What do you think?
The Codemaster driver of the day, yes, but I still think I have to give it to Sam. Just having a strong, dominant race from qualifying to the end of the race, takes the win here at Silverstone, and also giving him a huge boost at the beginning of the season. Gets maximum points here tonight with the fastest lap, with the race win. He has done everything he needed to do today, and he takes the win, and he's going to be my driver of the day.
Yeah, okay. That we are thinking a little bit different. I give it to Hyder. He not because he gets so many places in, because he was starting on like 11, getting up to P3, but it was, for me, it was his consistent driving all over the place, and he had really hard situations to master to get there. So yeah, for me, he is my driver of the day, because we have to remember in what car he has to drive, and this is not even the best in real performance, and he sticks to win. So he would be probably a master win in some higher races, or in some higher teams. But this was a good performance. Good performance from all the drivers.
All the drivers that have finished, of course, everyone just survived here at Silverstone. But I guess we're going to be having 2 driver of the days. We're going to have Chris's driver of the day, which is Hyder, and we're going to have my driver of the day, which is going to be Sam. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not going to be doing any interviews for today, because I need to talk with some people. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed Formula Racing League. We could be potentially back here next week for round 2, but we'll have to wait and see. But if you want to keep posted, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I have a stream. And make sure you also follow the Formula Racing League YouTube, which I believe is what is his name again? Sorry.
Rattleman.
Yeah, Rattleman Gaming's YouTube channel. But I hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you next time.
To yeah, getting so yeah, it was absolutely a pleasure to commentate with you, and I hope we can continue doing it for future projects and even for the FIL of what Apple gonna make.
Yep, but we will have to wait and see. But we're going to be seeing you guys next time. Stay safe, lol.